What have I actually done with my life? The good question that comes about when things aren't going that well. Roll it. Great email came in today from somebody who was wondering, how do you get over those moments that we all deal with when failure has just passed? You know, those moments when you're working on something and you realized that, oh man, I suck, I can't do this, I'm a failure. Those words actually come out of your mouth. The idea is very simple. You're not a failure. This is just one moment out of your whole span of existence. This notion of failure comes from a society upbringing where we are winners all the time, and the reality is we're not. Everything is a learning experience. Nothing just happens. Everything needs to be worked on, and this is why some achieve greatness and some simply don't. They've realized that failure is part of the process. They've realized that hard work takes time. It's that repetitive day in, day out of hard work that gets you to be that winner you need to be. But Nikos, I got all these visions and future of what I want it to be, and it's all about winning, but I keep failing. Are you really failing? Because I don't think you are, and I don't think you've been listening to my message. And if this is your first time here, hit a subscribe and a like at the end of this video, and watch the rest of the series so you can see that everything takes time. Whenever we say it's going to take an hour, it usually takes 5. There's always a problem in life that causes us to delay what we're trying to do. However, as we get better at whatever we're doing, and if it's not the first time, but maybe the 5th time, what you realize is that 5th time is much quicker than the first time. It's because we are learning, we're continually growing. There's so many things out there that, life's become so complicated. There's so many different things we have to do in order to achieve success. It's something that is remarkable what technology has done, but at the same time, it's slowed us down in that opportunity to really take our time with things. Because it is a rush society. We're rushing to do everything. There's always a new technology coming out, a new phone coming out, a new WordPress coming out, new security issues coming out. There's always something new with social media and something new we need to tackle. It's not like it used to be. This is why when I talk with the 50 and 60-year-olds who are like, what's this social media thing? I just want to do what I know how to do, and why are you making me do videos? Who cares about videos? Very simply put, they were the old school way of waking up, going to work, working, seeing people come into the restaurant or what have you, and they made their morning, lunch, and dinner rushes, and then they cleaned up the kitchen and went home. But now all of a sudden the owners and the managers have to get together and really think through how they're gonna effectively put a campaign together, bring in the right clientele that they want in order to see the success they're looking for. So what have I done with my life is an important question we got to answer. We have to be answering on a daily basis in order to keep our mind fresh in a positive manner so that creativity can spark. This is to say that, hey, I've been here before, I've dealt with much worse, and now this is a piece of cake. It's a walk in the park. I don't have any issues. Really, it's just a dilemma I gotta solve. I went through it this weekend. I did a whole marketing campaign, and WordPress just went boom. You suck. That's what it told me. And I spent so many hours trying to figure out what I needed to do in order to fix it. And at the same time, in my head, I was so upset because there was no support from the developers of these plugins. And I mean, I'm not going to get into, the idea behind how the setup is so horrible with some of these providers, but more of what was I doing wrong that I couldn't figure out at that moment. My mindset had to switch quickly in order to step into that realm of problem solving, or else I would have just been lost with this big dilemma for a long time, like a couple days, a week, until somebody came around and fixed my issues. So when we're looking at what have I done so far, very simply put, what we need to be looking at is that eagle-eye view of what we've done, and it's a good thing to sit down and really analyze, look how far we've come. I cannot remember my university career as much as I used to 5 years ago. It's pretty much the thing where I had fun and that's it, and yeah, there were some troubled times, but I got through it. And the troubled times I don't even remember anymore as I did, several years ago, and it's just one of those things. As I get older, I'm not going to remember the bad times. I'm going to remember all the good times. And by bad times, I mean the challenging moments. Yes, there's some that I remember because those vivid pictures of those people that were in my life at that moment. I can remember those stories vividly, but you know, at the end of the day, going through university was a challenge. And I got through it. Going through all the other designations and all the other university and colleges I visited to do what I've done in the educational realm were all a challenge. I had to sit there and put myself through a test that I can't do tests. I suck at them. But I did it. I managed it. I got through and I managed to accelerate and be awesome. And that's what counts. However, in times where I'm feeling like, oh my God, I can't figure this out. Am I the idiot person that I thought I could be? Or am I the biggest idiot in the world? Or, you know, those bad thoughts. We have to take ourselves back and think about, what did we achieve through school? What did we achieve through those hardships? What were the single most difficult things that we went through that made us who we are today? This email addressed relationships and how they always suck at them and they fail at them. And if you look back on different videos I've done in the past and when I'm responding to people, it always comes back to, what was your learning moment there? Because once we look at the learning moment, and once we see that we didn't learn anything from that learning moment, we saw it, but we never applied what we learned to the next relationship. Now a pattern is being formed. We got to work on that pattern. The idea is very simple. We look at all those hardships we had. We look at how we managed to get through them and succeed. And we write down what were the learning moments that we got out of it. And those learning moments are very simple things that we need to remember. Kind of like being able to communicate in relationships. Stick to integrity, into what we know is right, in order to make the right decisions at the right time. I answered an email last week about somebody who was dealing with a bad issue at work and they didn't know if they should leave or not. And the reality was that once they sent out their resume to a couple of headhunters, they had a job like this. They were scared to move on. And the only thing I told them is to look back every time they left. What occurred and what did they stick to? And integrity is what they stuck to. They stuck to their gut. They knew what was right. They had to do what was right and they did it. Within a week and a half, they're calling me to tell me, hey, I'm gonna be gone in a week. How can I ever thank you? And my only response was, share the message. Because this is where it comes down to. It's you being able to share the message of growth, success, and moving forward in your journey, bouncing in to fear and pushing it aside, not letting it overtake you. Remembering hardships is important, remembering the learning moments and what we did to get through it, and remembering that enthusiasm we had when we got through it is critical to our success. It brings us back into that positive spin of things where we succeeded. So whether you're starting a business or you're working through a business that's not going well, or a career that's not going in the direction you want it to, or a relationship that's just not making it, remember you've been in serious problems before, serious situations, serious dilemmas, and you made it through. So when you're asking, what have I done so far in life? Take a step back and look through all the big things and the little things that made you who you are. Review this every so often so that you can have a refresher that you did a lot and you're gonna do more. The goal is to keep moving and driving forward towards that mission and purpose you have in life. To stick to integrity, find those values and really stick to that integrity and make decisions that will help you have a better life tomorrow. My name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit a like, hit a subscribe, and share a moment where you felt like this. That moment where you're like, I don't know what I've done so far with my life, or, you know, what did you do with it and where did it take you? Because who knows, somebody might be reading that comment down the road and you might help save a life.